All right, my man, state your name. Let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
Yo, my name is Frankie Tarantino, aka Fast Key Musabi, and I'm a huge Knick fan, and I'm on a Real Talk with Nick.
All right, that's what's up, man. How long you been a Knick fan, my brother?
I've been a Knick fan since the 90s, since there was Bully is the Block. You talking about Ewing, Oakley, Mason, John Starks, Latrell Sprewell chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Allen Houston, Charlie Ward. You going back toughness when we was on the court, playing with passion, playing with that grittiness.
And what you think is missing comparing those Knicks to today's Knicks?
Today, there's a lot of, I want to say there's a lot of heart missing, but there's a lot of defense that's missing from that team. Because you know what? When you go on the court, what's your first thing to defend on the court? Your defense from not having the other team score on you and dropping points. So I feel as though today's sports is all about the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? They don't play from the heart. They're worried about the pay.
They're worried about the pay.
They're worried about the play.
Which brings me to the next question.
Go ahead.
We got a player on the Knicks who's trying to change the culture around concerning playing just for the bag.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson, man.
Jalen Brunson, what can I say about that man? The Nova squad, his team, he ain't take the money for himself. He took it for his team. He took it to make sure that he can have a future and have his players with him. And I'm talking about not taking a $213.5 million contract and saying, hey, I'm going to play for this team because, you know, hey, listen, I got a good squad. Well, Rick Brunson is Jalen Brunson's son. Rick played for the Knicks, all right? So having him coach his son, it's the best thing. But with Jalen going into the contract talk and having taken that huge
113 mil he took off.
Yeah. So you're talking about cutting out that profit, right? Because you know what? He did it not for himself, but for the team.
Yeah, he did it because of the center.
The center, right. We needed a center because we have, Mitchell Robinson, right? We got Julius Randle, okay? So when iHeart left and he ain't want to stay with the Knicks, where'd that leave us? You know what I'm saying?
How much do you think the Knicks will miss iHeart?
This much.
You don't think it's a big factor?
As Josh Hart would say, yo, you're dead to me. And who are you? What's that?
Well, Josh Hart actually said that.
Right. He said, who are you? Or is he say, Josh Hart said, he said, you're dead to me, right? Did he say that in the tweet? All right. And then when Jalen Brunson, he got a text and goes, who's this? When iHeart sent him a message. Come on, man. Like, you think those guys, they might miss him. I'm not going to lie. iHeart was a very good player. He was a good shot blocker. That was one of the amazing things that they're missing now because we don't have that on the team. But if we could get Sims to step up and bust them rims down and start blocking, I think they're going to be a lot better. If Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy for the year, they're going to be a lot better than that.
So talk to me about Sims, man. Are you saying this is Jericho Sims' big year for him to showcase and step it up?
Sims. I met his uncle.
Are you high on Sims? Let's start there.
Let's start with Sims. Let me see. What can I say? I just hope he is going to be a Sim factor. You know what I mean? Not just some Sim City. So I think Sims is going to step up his game for this year. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think him learning from iHeart, and everybody knows this, he's been schooling him. He's been teaching him how to do the right thing, even after he left. So Jericho is going to probably, I want to say, I won't give it 100% step up. I'll say about 60%. He's going to step up his game this year to be that backup center.
And what he needs to do to be efficient when we speak of a backup center?
He needs a lot more points. Not points. He needs to get more knowledge of defense and not worry about offense. But there's a lot of things about him that people might disagree on. But he's a third-year player for the Knicks now. He's been with us for 3 years. And he's only had some games that he played last year. But I think if he steps his game up and continues to run practice drills and learns how to be more defensive, I think we're gonna have a great year with him. But I'm not gonna go 100%. I'm gonna have to go 60% on him.
Okay. And Mitchell Robinson, when we speak of him, because a lot of people saying, you know what, he's a great player if he could stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of Knicks fans who's starting to give up on Mitch because since he came to us,
right,
he hasn't played a complete season.
That's true.
What's your take on that?
And the reason for that is a lot of injuries. But I also feel as though Tibbs, he's a good coach. I like him. I'm glad that they extended his contract for 3 more years. Tibbs has got to be more confident in having Robinson at that front. Because if he's not at the front center, it's going to be a problem. They're not going to have the defense. They're not going to have... I'm going to be honest with you, he could be a double-double guy. But he could be a triple-double guy, meaning double points, double rebounds. He'll probably get like 10 blocks, but not every game.
When you speak of that of Mitch,
I think Mitch is a good player. He's solid. He's just got to stay healthy and not get injured again. He's got the same injury twice in 2 years. That's why he's very limited. People give up on him is because they don't believe in him. But I do. And I think he's going to be a great player. He's already bulked up, and he's already showed flashes during the playoffs before he went and got hurt again. But Mitch is I think he's going to have a great year. We just got to get at least maybe 65 to 70 games out of him this year.
Okay. Now, when we speak of that, of Julius Randle,
right?
What come to mind, man?
Is he going to be productive after that shoulder injury? Because from what I seen him playing, he was a good all-star. He made the all-star team this year, but unfortunately he couldn't play because of the shoulder injury in January. My problem is he going to be a no-show, or is he going to be the show when it comes to the playoffs?
That's your only main concern with him.
Injury prone. And whether or not...
Why would you say he's injury prone?
That shoulder. Because listen, I've had surgery on my shoulder twice, right? So I know what shoulder injuries are like. But he fractured it. The problem with him is making sure that... make sure that he can be able to shoot the ball and not miss the rim. He's a great player. He averages like maybe 22 points a game, 10 rebounds as a forward. Having him in as a center kind of be a little bit iffy because, he's a little shorter. He's not like what? He's like 6'9", 6'10",
right?
As opposed to having a 7'2" center.
Yeah.
But my concern is his shoulder injury. That, how is it going to affect him going forward? But he already got the contract. I'm not sure if he's looking for extra money. But I think the main problem will be his shoulder.
All right. My next question is going to be this, bro. When the Knicks traded R.J. Barrett and IQ, we speak of that of Man U quickly, was you concerned?
Was I concerned? I was disappointed. I was heartbroken. I'm an R.J. Barrett fan. I love Duke. I'm a Duke basketball fan. Problem with RJ and IQ. So we lost a great bench player in IQ. IQ was one of the top-notch players they had. RJ, he had his flashes. Right now he's killing it on the Olympics games with Team Canada, I believe. And he was more of a I need the ball in my hands player. But I don't blame him. But then he showed up, and then he didn't show up. RJ was like a hit-or-miss guy on the court. But he was very talented, and I think with his run with the Knicks this year, him and IQ were both part of that setup that had the team winning those games before they made the trade for OG. My only concern about that trade was because of OG going past his prime, his injury with his elbow and stuff, because he had an injury history going back to last year. Well, not this year, but the year before, when he was with the Raptors.
Right.
But I think having IQ missing off the bench, we can't really depend on Deuce McBride.
Speaking of Deuce, so you saying Deuce can't fill in the shoes of IQ?
No.
Why
Deuce
not?
has got to be his own man. And if Deuce does show up as his own self and not have to fill in somebody else's shoes, then you're going to have a good player. But they were talking about trading him as well.
But how do you feel about his game specifically when you speak of that of Deuce?
It's kind of iffy. I'm going to be honest with you. having Deuce on the team, he's a good 3-point shooter, but his defense kind of slacks. So being a defensive player, you gotta improve that level. That's the only thing he needs, and he's gotta stay focused and make sure that he can stay hitting the threes. But I think Deuce will have a breakout year this year, only because he showed that during the playoffs. Now that we don't have Alec Burks on the team. So since Burks is gone and he signed with a former rival, I think, did he go to Dallas or something like that? I forgot.
I'm not sure, but all right. But I'm not sure, but I hear your take on that.
Right.
DiVincenzo, man.
Oh, what can I say about him? Man, that guy is a beast. I mean, like, look at him. He came from Golden State, and he's shown that he's a good player. I mean, come on, you got the Nova 4. You got Brunson, Dante, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart. Now, you gotta say, last year, man, Dante was like killing it. They were calling him McNugget Buckets or something like that.
Does he remind you of a Knick great if you was to compare his game?
I want to say somewhere between Allen Houston and Sprewell as a 3-point shooter.
DiVincenzo?
I think that's where I'm sitting between. I think more Allen Houston type. Not John Starks. John Starks was a great player back then, but I think he's more like an Allen Houston because he's a great 3-point shooter. And he's going to be very good this year, whether if he's on the bench or whether he's starting if somebody's down. Or if they just rotate the rotation of players out and have him start. Hey, we might have a lineup of all 4 of the Nova squad. You know what I'm saying? Depends on who, like if OG gets hurt, you're going to slide him in. You might have Randall starting center, and you might have all 4 Nova squad players on the team.
Is this Randall last season to get the shit right concerning postseason?
I'm going to say probably half a season. Might have a half a season with the Knicks. Because there's already talks of him being traded. Now, if they were to trade him and he went to the Pelicans, I want Zion Williamson back. I like Brandon Ingram, but I want Zion back. If you're going to bring both of them, you're going to have to give up some high picks.
Okay.
We already gave up a lot of picks this year.
All right.
I think having Zion on that team, or maybe even Lauri Markkanen from Utah. Utah's got a great power forward. He's also, I think, he's plays center, and he averages 20-something points a game.
Okay.
But that's what I see with Randall. If Randall doesn't shape up between the time the season starts and the trade deadline, and if Markkanen is still in Utah, I think there's going to be talks about having him being traded out.
All right. And when we speak of that, of my boy Mikal Bridges, man, how important is that signing, man?
Man, that trade, whew, gave up a lot of picks, as I said. But I'm going to be honest with you, to have him, you got, like I said, the Nova squad. They won, maybe did they win 2 championships with each other?
Right, I believe so. That sounds about right.
So, you got 4 players who played college ball together, won a championship, and they're on the same team. Now, him coming from Phoenix to the Nets, I'm glad we didn't get Kevin Durant because of what he did with the Nets. That was a very disappointing move. But you know something? People doubted Mikal Bridges. He was the second best scorer player on that team, besides Cam Thomas. But we got him now. I think he's going to be a legitimate player. I didn't see him get hurt last year as much as other players did. And I know he can score threes, and he's got great offense. I'm a little bit iffy on the defense, but I think he can work on that under the tutelage of Tibbs.
But what do you say to those who say he's a great wing defense player?
Brain defense?
Wing.
Ooh, he's a wingman. He's gonna. Isn't he starting shooting guard? So he's a shooting guard, okay. But it depends on where they plot him at and who's defending against him, or who he's defending against, like on the team. So if you take, let's say, I'll go Knicks versus Dallas. Who are you gonna have him against? Is it gonna be Kyrie or is it gonna be, what's his name? What's the guy from Dallas? The point guard they got.
Talking about Luka?
Luka, yeah. Well, is he going to guard either one of them two? So who's going to be the top notch? I want to say that because of the knowledge that Kyrie has, if he's a shooting guard, or the way that Doncic is playing, I think he's going to have to step up his game to learn how to defend those players.
You mean Mikal?
Mikal, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Mikal. He's going to have to learn how to defend the players. Did I say somebody else's name?
Yeah, you know, it's hot out here, so
yeah,
you know, forgive me.
Is, man. You can see I'm sweating bullets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think him as a wing player, he's gonna fit right in. He's just gotta learn how to play the way that Tibbs is coaching the team, and not, you know, give up and say, yeah, I can't do this. He's got it. He's all up here. But you gotta remember, you got his brethren from Nova, the Villanova Wildcats. So having them all on the same team, they're gonna actually rock.
All right, man. I want to thank you for coming on Real Talk with Knick. State your name one more time before we sign.
My name is Frankie Tarantino, a.k.a. Fats, F-A-T-Z, Kimosabi, baby. Oh, by the way, the Knicks, they're going to win at least about 60 games this year.
Oh, you sound good, baby.
Oh, you already know.
Damn, you just made it hotter. Shit, and we out.
It's hot as